What is up, risk takers? Welcome to the Kill Pete strategy. I am Pete. I am a top 10 player playing the game of Risk Global Domination on PC. I have a daily release schedule on YouTube. Fridays we do the fixed game. Wednesdays we do this show, the Waiting on Your Best Behavior podcast. If you are interested in getting better at the game of Risk, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and come along this journey with me. And today we have a special guest, is Mr. Slin.
Hey,
how's it going, Slin?
it's going well. Do you do this all in one take, or do you?
Oh yeah, edit? I don't edit, man.
All right, cool.
I don't edit. Olive is also joining us, so Olive is going to be some comic relief slash, obviously in the game. I think we have 2 more slots, Olive. If you want to open those up, we can maybe get 2 more grandmasters in this game, and we'll get on with the show. So Mr. Slin is doing a bunch of Risk content on Twitch, and I've noticed that it's almost all classic fixed, or it's all classic fixed.
It is all classic fixed, except for the few games when we played last time together with Drew.
Were those your only games where you didn't play classic?
Those are my only games on YouTube where I didn't play classic. I have played one pirate map, but I didn't put it on YouTube because the content isn't that good. Mm-hmm. And then I played one zombie map, which, you know, if you don't know the rules of zombies, it's super confusing.
Right. No, I felt the exact same way the first time I played zombies.
Yeah, I'm looking at your. By the way, the patch 3.2 came out yesterday.
It did.
And I'm looking at your fancy avatar, and it reminds me of something, Guardians of the Galaxy or something. It reminds me of something like that.
Yeah, these sci-fi maps cool. are fun. Not saying classic fix isn't fun, but these sci-fi maps are. I like the variety, but
if we get some time, we should try
Pete.
it. Say again.
I miss Pharaoh Pete.
Yes, I will return to Pharaoh Pete, but right now I'm going to pimp this alien because he looks awesome. All right. So
you have an identity.
No, I know. I will stick with it. I like the I like the Egyptian frame. It does suit me. But some of these new avatars, like there's an even more samurai girl coming up, so she looks exciting.
Mm-hmm. You know, one thing I find that's really interesting about playing with you every time I play with you and Olive last time. Mm-hmm. I don't know the etiquette of playing with people that you actually talk to, because, like you mentioned, all of my games are, you know, auto match made, classic fixed. Like, I don't know who I'm playing against, so I don't mind killing anybody like in the first turn. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter to me if someone suicides on me. But when you play with the people you're talking to, like, is it BM to knock out the podcast host on the guest? You know, like, is it like what are the rules here? What do I need to know?
Play your best game.
Play your best and win.
I'm glad we went. Yes, let's do it.
The etiquette, like I'm discording Hollow and like, yo, let's gang up on Pete like right now.
If that's the way this cookie crumbles, man, then that's the way this cookie crumbles. I'm not going to be hurt. I've lost a lot of games of Risk. You know, I'm not going to really have my feelings hurt. It's all in good fun. Honestly, one of the big things I want to get into with you today is classic fixed strategy, because you do this a lot and you're good, and quite frankly, I don't feel all that good at classic fix, but also it's hard. It's really hard relatively.
You think so?
To be a classic fix grandmaster in multiplayer is generally considered to be, I mean, tell me if you disagree, Olive, but to be like one of the hardest accomplishments.
That was the first way that I became like a grandmaster, and it's very challenging. Even like a beginner to intermediate knows like the basics of like the maps, the continents, the strategy. There is no like really like major like imbalance like a map or complicated attack paths. So if you're able to maintain a high grandmaster ranking on classic fix, it implies that you really understand the fundamentals of the game, the strategy, the balance of the game, and how to manipulate your opponents to consistently bring yourself to victory. So it is a very good accomplishment.
Wow, Olive, you're so well spoken. You know, I'm very impressed.
I'll be joking soon. I have to be a little serious and give some like a high level commentary when needed.
Yeah, no, I agree, because I have like about 160 hours in Risk right now. I just checked on my phone how many hours I had, and I was like, yeah, actually, it took harder to get. It was harder to get to grandmaster the second time. I don't know if it's because they reset the ranks, but it took me some time to get it back on my when I downloaded Steam. But actually, Pete, I was very impressed when I found out that you're so good at progressive, because to me that game mode, and I need to definitely play some more of it, is a complete enigma, because you're making calculations many moves into the future, trying to figure out, okay, who's doing turn-ins on what, and when can I get wiped out. So I found when I played progressive with you guys last time, that was actually pretty challenging.
Which I think just speaks to how fundamentally different they are. Right? Because I think of myself as good at fixed. Not great. Good. I think of myself as probably a bit better at progressive, obviously, because I have the audacity to try and give people advice. But but like free-for-all multiplayer is something I've been playing a really long time. So I'm comfortable with it. It's just to be, as Olive said, to be reliably and consistently good in the face of, you hear online, oh, these guys are collabing on me, oh, these guys are suiciding on me, right? And everything in between. So how do you do it?
Yeah, so my win-loss record right now is it's something close to 60%. So it's not to me, it's good, and definitely when you click on the people and the auto-matching, most of them probably don't have 60%, but so it's definitely above average, but I don't actually consider myself good. There's someone who watches my stream every night. His name's Keisei. I don't know if he's known, but he's top. I think he said top 100 or top 1,000. And I think it's pretty sure it's top 100 as a fixed classic player. And he said he had a win rate of 80%. And I was like, man, if I could get 80%, that'd be incredible. Because it's hard, definitely, to be that consistent. When a lot of times you're playing, these auto match games, people just, I get this comment all the time. People just suicide on you. So, yeah, creating that consistency is kind of challenging.
What are you ranked currently?
I want to say 3,000 something.
Okay. So it's at this point, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or have you kind of plateaued?
No, I still have room to go. Yeah, I would say. The fun part for me is that every night I log in and play Risk, I'm learning something new. So as long as that keeps up, I feel good.
Still feel like you're improving.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's I think there's some parts of especially in the early game, I feel like there's not a big problem. Although occasionally you're fighting over Australia with someone, they're gonna battle you for it when they really don't deserve to. But if they're new to the game, you never know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
But near the mid and end game is where I sometimes struggle with trying to figure out, okay, should I go for the kill or should I wait? And I think that's part of the game that I'm trying to work on right now.
So what do you use to determine when the time is right to go for that kill?
Yeah, I'm looking at how many cards people have. I'm looking at, okay, well, am I going to get... are they working together against me? Because oftentimes we're talking about 3 players left in the game, myself included. And you're trying to figure out, okay, do these guys hate me, or are we going to work together? Who do I have a good alliance with? And the fun part for me is you're not actually talking to each other as you do it. So, yeah, what's your guys' experiences playing auto matchmaking in that part of the game?
I've actually never done it before. I don't have that achievement on my account.
Never?
Get out of here.
I've always just found the classic fixed, and then I got into my 1v1 ways, and I'm I don't want to do auto match. I like my settings.
Oh, that's right. Olive has only Olive. You don't have any other accounts.
Correct.
You never mess around with alts. Fair enough. I've done a little bit of auto match. It's
you play mostly 1v1 Olive? Is that... I'm trying to figure what game mode is
or if I play free for all, I play unranked, or I do play with friends because I'm active on the Discord.
Ah, I see. So that when you are playing not 1v1, then it's all setup games.
Correct.
Got it. Sorry, Pete, I cut you off.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I forget that not everybody knows how skewed the ranking system is towards 1v1s. That's why I'm just leading with how Olive and I would agree that it is quite an accomplishment to be a grandmaster in free-for-all multiplayer, but classic fix specifically, right? That's
I didn't realize you can get ranks outside of the auto matching, or do you auto match on a game mode?
You can create your own settings and host a lobby, and you can basically invite anyone that you want.
What? Really? That doesn't count as play with friends?
No, it doesn't, because you're playing with strangers. It's only if you play with someone who happens to be your friend that the SMG will note that in their records, and then the game won't count for either of you.
When they're added as a risk friend. I see.
Yes.
I think it also gets auto-flagged if you play the same person over and over.
That would make sense, too.
Yeah, you would hope. Slin, why did it take you so long to accept my alliance?
Actually, I'm having a hard time talking and playing at the same time.
I've heard
which
that's
is
a problem.
ironic. Yeah.
Your initial setup's not the best either.
Yeah, I had to give it some thought as to whether I was going to betray our purple friend there.
Yeah. So I remember your early game strategy is try to avoid conflicts and group your troops together, but your 7 and your 13 are all far apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not going to come together for some time. And with this many players in the game, not everyone's going to get a continent. So I don't feel like I have to get a continent right now. I'm just going to wait and see who's looking weak. And then it's probably, hopefully not going to be me.
Well, who knows? Maybe we're in for the long haul, right? Do you find that some of these games can go quite long when you're streaming?
So I was actually making some note about that. Most of my games fit into like half an hour, surprisingly. But I did play a 2-hour game the other night, and that was considered notable. I did watch some of your games, Pete, and they can go more than 2 hours. But when you're playing against randoms, most people don't want to stick around that long. There's not enough on the line for them to want to stay that long into a game.
They just suicide or bought out.
I would say, 9 times out of 10, people just leave the game, and then you're like, okay, great, now I got to figure out what to do with the remaining people.
Which usually works to your advantage.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Well, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you can beat the bot, right?
Well, I can definitely beat the bot, but no, imagine there's 3 players left and one player disconnects or leaves about an hour into the game.
Right.
Now you're in the one-on-one, and that's you don't always win those. You would hope that you do, but you don't always.
Yeah, the exact timing of that matters a ton.
Mm-hmm. And also, I find as I progress higher in the ranks that I get more of that that disconnect strategy that people hate. So always not fun to see that.
Say more about that. What is it? What's going on with that specifically?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, there is this sort of
hey Slin, can I ask you to get out of North America, or how do you feel?
How
do you feel about that? You
see,
good?
That is something you can't do in the normal.
See, I can ask nicely, right? Hey, right. You got a hearty couple of these for me. There you go, my man.
That will be tough to hold it, Pete.
I'm greedy.
In general,
I'm greedy.
At this high-level game, you would expect the people in South America and Australia to control the pace of the game right now. Mm-hmm. If they let you hold North America, you'd be controlling the pace. There's no reason for them to want to hold it. Look, see right there? Silent's basically telling you, no, you ain't holding it.
I don't know about that,
Yeah, that's extremely common on this map.
Because I did give Asylum South America. I could have been a real dick about it.
Nah,
he's gonna
now.
Make
sure you can't poke him in the butt.
Too many turns.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way you're gonna be able to break Brazil, and then he can just sit on Central America. Or if you block that, you're gonna have a hard time holding out Alaska too against Mongolia.
Well, what you can do is you can do a 2-border strategy, right? You can keep half your troops in western, eastern United States, and then half in Northwest Territory, and that way you're basically threatening someone.
Mm-hmm. But
now
I think the main
what
problem
you're
is
doing
that
right here is you're basically telling Asylum, "Come at me, bro." You're basically threatening him.
Well, isn't that how I like to play?
Well, then they just kill you.
Okay.
We'll see. How well do you know these other people in this lobby?
Reasonably well. I played with Asylum a bunch.
Oh, that's the part that transcends the game. Is you can always jab each other with your elbow, offline.
Yeah, the
the
community is smaller than I expected, right? You do tend to get to know people if
Oh,
they're
yeah.
if they're active.
That's the case. That's the case with any game. Even if it's League of Legends or something, you would there would be a top end of the scene. People don't know each other. I come from competitive TF2, so we had a larger scene because it's a top 10 game on Steam in terms of player count, but the top end of the competitive scene is thousands of players, so it's small enough to where you know people. But yeah, to talk about this disconnect abuse, basically, what people will do is they'll leave the game. So let's say there's 3 players left and one person leaves the game. There's no limitations as to how long you want to wait before you reconnect to the game. So you could reconnect 3 minutes from now, 20 minutes, an hour from now, it doesn't matter. And what people do is when you disconnect, you tend to ignore the bot because the bot won't win the game. So if there's 3 people and one person leaves, now it's just a one-on-one with a bot there. But then if 10 minutes from now, that person waits for the dust to settle and they reconnect the game, now they've got 200 units and you guys already demolished each other. So they just take the win, which is pretty frustrating.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty scumbag move.
Yeah, it's definitely a scumbag move. Although I saw in the 3.2 patch notes that they said that they did something to deal with AFK players, and it's not clear what that is yet.
They didn't specify?
No. I'm waiting for the detailed notes, if they're ever going to share those.
I wonder. What, like you put a time limit on it, or you notice an account that does it too frequently? How would you answer that with the system?
Yeah, I think it depends on what they decide to implement. I'm saying I don't know what they did, but I have definitely ideas for how I would combat it. Like one of the things you could do, for example, is rate limit the number of times that you're allowed to reconnect. So you could say, okay, you can disconnect maybe once or twice and reconnect to the game, but you can't do it 6 times. So, because what people will do is, and Pink did exactly the move here. The doors are completely open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So what people will do is they'll like reconnect every 3 minutes or every 6 minutes just to check on the status of the game to see how it's progressing and whether they're still in the game or not. And again, I just feel like you shouldn't be able to just check in on the game like that. If you're gonna keep checking in, you're playing the game. So.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Slin, what do you do? What do you do in this situation?
It's a pretty interesting turn for me, actually. There was a point in maybe like 5 turns ago where I could have like done a turn in and gotten Australia, but then I let Purple have it. And right now, Europe is not going to happen, and maybe not even Africa. So it's definitely tough. I was debating going into North America too, but
you didn't have to.
No, there's nothing really
multiple
forcing me
people
to
right
do.
now fighting for multiple continents, and basically, like someone needs to be removed first. Looking at this right here, Pink's probably like in the worst spot. At the absolute highest levels, if you can coordinate people enough, but if you can convince the entire lobby to turn on one person, they can be like taken out.
Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, what Pink did is that they went into North America and then they didn't leave. If I were Pink, I actually would have stayed in North America.
Yes.
But they left. So what happens is Yellow has a natural response here, which is to stop that from happening. So they'll go sit on Brazil, which means that door is closed forever, and people retake North America, and then
that
now
door is also
got
yes, that door is also
two
closed.
borders, and so
exactly.
So
that solidified my alliance with Asylum.
With Yellow, exactly.
The converse with that, though, is that Pete, who plays on emotion, could then decide to take his 10-troop set, then like plow it into that army, weakening both of them, and then they both just lose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're saying if he chose to sit in my continent?
Mm-hmm. That's right. And that can happen in the public lobbies. Probably not though. But yeah, that's what I was debating on my last turn. Should I follow Pink into North America and sit there since Pink didn't want to do it?
I think that was like the right move. I mean, your stack was like big enough, but like eventually, like even though Pete's like with you right now, he'd probably go against you forever.
Exactly.
Pete's not like grudges go down.
Exactly. And also it's this is like way more consistent because like yeah, there's no chance that anyone suicides on me right now, whereas in North America Pete might have. And then everyone will naturally want to gang up on Pete in the long run because he's just getting way powerful.
Yeah, I do.
So the question we have to
that
ask
effect
ourselves
on people.
So the question we have to ask ourselves right now is who is the weakest player on the board, and who's gonna be the ones to kill them off? It's a tie. It's a close tie right now. I'd say between red
Pink and me.
pink. Mm-hmm.
I've had some poor set luck.
Mm-hmm.
That's cost me about 10 troops.
Right. So now there's three
There's
of us
not
in.
much like we can do right here. Basically, the three of us are just like crowding out in Africa. So that's like the last remaining continent. I'd even try taking it because I knew it was too weak to hold it.
Right. Now, if we were buddy and I want to just elbow jab you a little bit, I would just take East Africa and chill there so you didn't get a card. But I wouldn't do that in a public lobby because I just feel like someone would rage on me a little bit.
Yeah, you can play a bit riskier.
Yeah. I know Olive wouldn't suicide on me right there, and then he probably wouldn't want to go attack the 17 on the left.
Now we've reached an impasse. So ideally, in this situation, whoever's like the strongest should be making a move attacking like whoever's like weakest in order to like set the game like in the right direction. So in this case, you would expect Storm, who is purple, use her stack like to really damage like one of the weaker players, and then by doing that, the game would continue because she would have a stack size about equal to everyone else, and the game will go on from there.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that because that's something in theory that I haven't really solidified in my brain yet. So I'd like to pick your brain on it, Olive. Like, in my opinion, whoever's in first place, in which case I think this is actually Pete, wouldn't want to actually progress the game because they have no incentive to change the board state. So the longer the game goes, actually the more powerful Pete will get. He has no incentive to kill someone
if you
else.
take that like to its logical conclusion, the people who are weak never attack because they're too weak to attack. And the people that are strong never attack because they just want to keep getting stronger.
Exactly.
And that just destroys the fun of the game and leads to a stalemate.
Yeah, I think that's one of the fundamental problems with Fix. Yeah.
So
That's what makes it very challenging right here. It's why after doing like a couple hundred games of this like type of game mode, like I stopped and went to doing other types of modes like 1v1 and 2v2 because this entire like idea of like a stalemate like type situation, I just absolutely hate it.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, one of my favorite things to do in games is to ask myself, if we're playing for like a ridiculous sum of money, like $1 million or even $1 billion, like what is the optimal way to play this? And yeah, I would think that Pete wouldn't even want to do anything because there's just too much on the line for him to bother killing someone off.
Pete actually knows what that's been like in the free for all finals.
Yes, sir. I played for 5 1/4 hours, Slin, and I came in second.
I saw that. Yeah, and because you were bored, is the way that I took that ending.
I mean, no. Like, all right, you like push back on this if you think I'm full of it, but I didn't see a way to win, and I thought by risking coming in anything other than second, I was risking taking third.
Yeah, that's definitely advice that I've gotten from some of the higher level players that watch my channel. They'll tell me like just go for second sometimes.
Well, that's how the ranking system works. I mean, like Slin, what do you think of the whole ranking system? Like, you're clearly one of the world's like best fixed players, but because of the way that you play the game, like your rank is probably like in somewhere like in like the at the best like mid like low thousands, like high hundreds. And then people who just game the system like 1v1ing, they get a higher rank than you. And friends and family who have like no idea what risk is could say, "Oh, this guy's way better than Slin because he's higher up on the leaderboard."
Yeah, but it's not the
like,
whole
what do you
story.
think about that?
Yeah.
See, I actually don't think I'm one of the best in the world. I really feel like there's so much more to learn. But so I reject the premise.
That is an answer that I would give if I was posed that question as well.
Yeah, maybe I think the way some games solve it is to have different leaderboards, right? So you'd have a 1v1 leaderboard and a fixed classic leaderboard. But I think the community is so small that you wouldn't want to fracture, and you would want to boil it down to some one ultimate score, anyways.
So what would
Yeah,
that look
because
like?
then you're kind of prone to competition. And I feel
Mhm.
like in the end, the vast majority of player base is just a casual people. They play like 50 like to 100 games for like maybe a couple dozen hours, and they get like involved, and then they move on to something else. The last thing you want to do is create like a very competitive atmosphere that just kind of promotes only like laddering and winning. Like I have played games like that, and it just feels like kind of toxic.
Hmm. That's interesting.
That's fair.
Yeah, so like for people who don't understand what I just did, I saw Olive had Africa, and so one question is like, oh, do I think Olive's gonna suicide me? And the answer is probably no. And I don't think Olive's gonna use his extra Africa power to kill somebody, so I'd rather not let him keep it. Now if he starts randomly suiciding stuff in me, I'll start crying. But
I,
no, I'm crying, Olive, I'm crying.
hmm.
Hey, I didn't break the game. You can clearly still play,
Oh yeah, I can totally kill you right now.
but I just basically stood my ground.
Uh-huh.
And now I just subverted your expectations.
You did. The shock
Now
value
who's
is
playing
there.
on emotion?
Well, that's controlled emotion right there.
Gotcha. Everything you do
Like
makes
I
total
lost
sense.
some troops, but I didn't lose the game for either of us.
That's funny.
It's uncontrolled
so,
emotion that's truly dangerous.
Yeah, if a strong
Okay.
player did that, like an asylum just decided to break the alliance and hold up in North Africa, or like Storm did it with their other army. Yeah, there's something I can do about it. But Slin, the thing is, like, you're a weaker player here. So if you and I are just fighting each other, you're just letting like the big players like get strong, and then they just take us out.
That's totally true. Which is why I didn't expect you to run that 11 into me.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like if you and I fight each other, neither of us win.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Which is why I was, again, not expecting you to run that 11 into me. Well, because the thing is, if I just let you get powerful, then you're no longer one of the weak ones like me. You're one of the strong ones like them. So I would rather have more of us weak ones.
Yeah, so that's where kind of like the fundamental thinking comes into this, and like figuring out like what we want to do.
Exactly. I think we need to find who do we want to kill, and then not let them get any cards. Maybe like maybe you and I would team up on pick or something like that.
Yeah, ideally, one of them should be. Ideally, the weakest players are Pink and me. One of us would need to be taken out, then the other one would then probably be taken out, and then Slin. By that time, it's a 4-player situation. If you can hold a continent at that time, you would probably be okay.
Hmm.
Problem is, right now the group is being very, very passive. So this is probably going to be a point where people are taking one card at a time until someone makes a move and attack something else. So
That's right. And I think between you,
so Slin, can you
me,
say a bit of
and
like your
Pink, we're in
background
trouble.
maybe during this time?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we asked that in the beginning, Pete. Right? Because
Yeah,
I know
no.
you're like a video gamer, but so
Yeah, tell us.
tell us tell us about that.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
I guess maybe you could talk about your YouTube channel and like what made you get into that, and what do you like host on it?
Okay. Yeah, I started on YouTube in 2011, and I started on Twitch in 2012, and I got my Twitch channel partnered in 2012. I think the reason why I really got into it was because I was part of the TF2 community, and I was looking for a way to put content out there. It's an FPS game, and so one of the Team Fortress 2 is not Titanfall 2. One of the things that you do in FPS games is that you like make frag videos because you want to show off your skills, and so I needed a place to put my frag videos. So I put some early frag videos up on that YouTube channel, and then I had a computer that was good enough to stream, so I decided to do it. And it was really early days on Twitch, and so. There were not very many other people that were streaming Team Fortress 2 at the time, and so, my channel I think is still like one of the top 3 channels in on Twitch in terms of like minutes watched of TF2.
Because you've been doing it for so long, and you basically got ahead of the curve, right? You basically you're like an innovator. Like you thought, oh, I'll just get involved in the community this way, and Twitch ended up blowing up, and then you got this, just like your full-time career. Like, do you do something else?
Yeah, so I graduated college. Oh, I started streaming in college.
Oh
my God!
Goodness gracious!
Yes, actually, that's a really good move there. I have to say, because I was expecting Pete as the first place player to not do anything, and then Storm as a second
Storm
place
had to
player.
kill someone, and it made complete sense to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Why did
exactly.
you have to kill someone? Though?
That game.
Why did you have to kill someone though?
If the game stayed in that state, then you would just keep getting more powerful, Pete.
So why didn't someone come at me?
Because yeah, that's the thing you learn in this fixed game is that you don't go after the first place player often. You got to team up with the other weaker players and have someone else deal with first place. Well, this is great. Now that Australia's freed up, I can get
my death is gonna let the game actually continue.
Yeah, progress exactly. But that
We're not doing progressive, Pete. Calm down.
Good one. See, you were being comic relief. Okay, Asylum's gonna come at me now. Asylum's gonna come at me. Okay, cool. Interesting.
That's awesome.
Asylum made a mistake there. I would have probably left only maybe like 10 troops in like Central America, then let the rest in Brazil. Now Pete can easily just like go in,
put the 30 on there,
and break South America if he wanted to.
I don't expect him to break
14 there,
South
Pete.
America.
Asylum can easily break that.
If he wants to.
But yeah, no, I don't stream as my full-time job. At one point in time, I wanted it to be my full-time job, but it didn't work out for me. And I think because like it was kind of hard to go full-time as a TF2 content creator. It's a relatively small game.
In what way?
Just to make enough money to make it full-time.
Because you have to put in so much time.
There's just not enough money in the community to sustain that many people.
It's very much a labor of love.
Oh yeah, it's definitely, that's definitely the case. Yeah, and so I was trying to think to myself like, what can I do then? And so I actually hit up the guy who got me partnered on Twitch, and I said, hey, I'm looking for a job. And then I applied twice to work at Twitch. The first time I didn't get it, but the second time I did get the job. So I've been working at Twitch now for 6.5 years, but not as a streamer, but as a corporate employee.
Can I ask what you do?
Yeah, so for the first 2 years, I was a partnerships associate, and it was basically I read partner applications. So when you apply to the partner program, someone's on the other side reading the applications and making judgments as to whether or not you should become a partner or not, or if you need to like keep growing your channel. And that's because Twitch has limited resources that they're trying to distribute, so not everyone can be a partner. And yeah, you do that for a little bit, and then as I got more senior, I became an account manager for streamers. So like going to different events and meeting different streamers and making sure that they're happy and staying on the platform, that kind of stuff. So I did that for 2 years, and then the last 4.5 years, I've been a technical program manager on one of the software engineering teams, which is like a pretty big change for me. But yeah, I'm working on the team that does the checkout experience for subscriptions and bits. So whenever you buy subs and bits and it says, oh yeah, give us your credit card information or your PayPal and then buy the thing, like our team works on that and then develops features around it. So that's been pretty fun. Yeah.
It sounds like a fun job.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's because I like the product a lot, obviously, and then and it's just fun to like work on something that I would like. I mean, I work during the day, and then when I'm done working, I come home and I stream. So I use the product that I work on. Pete, what are you doing attacking me?
Someone should stop me. I'm the worst.
Oh, you really are.
Yes, I really am.
You really can retaliate.
Me?
Because if you crash into Pete, you lose half your stack, and then Storm just kills you again. Or not
Someone
Storm.
kill me, but it would be painful for sure.
Hey man, you want to send that message? You know how.
Yeah.
It's valid.
So Pete, at this point, you need to kill someone.
Okay. Who? Who do you suggest? Storm? Poor Storm.
Yeah. Basically,
put herself right. Yeah, put herself right in the line of fire.
Yeah, you have a set of like at least a set of like 8. So it's basically a guaranteed kill unless you get a really bad blitz roll. You get like another set right away. So you're basically for one turn losing about 30 troops. You'll end the turn with about 100. You'll be only 4 behind, like about 10 or so behind like Asylum. You'll be in good state.
Mm-hmm.
And then the game can continue.
But maybe I have no incentive to do that.
Ooh.
Then you're just a monster.
Am I though? I'm trying to win, right? Don't you expect me to try to win?
Ideally, like yes here, and obviously you can always just like wait, like instead.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a really good opportunity here because basically everyone has a continent except Storm. She's just like sitting, and so like this is a time that you can try to strike.
But she just said
she's not basically the fundamental principle. And like Slin, like you agree with this, right? If someone's not needed for the balance of the game, you can take them out, and the game won't change.
So I actually don't agree that Pete should be the one to kill Storm. Because Pete has the best continent.
And she just sent me a heart emote. How could I kill her after that?
Yeah, I think Storm needs to be killed, but I don't think by
me. Okay, then who does it? Who does the dirty?
Remember, Pete has the best continent, the best production out of everybody, so he has no incentive to change the board state. So the person who does that incentive is everyone else who's falling behind. In this case, it'd be me, Pink, and Yellow. And so the three of us need to work together to kill Storm, so that we can improve our setup.
Oh, or maybe Storm kills herself.
That's the thing. We all want, me, Pink, and Yellow want Storm to die, but we don't want to be the ones to do the killing. So if Pink is doing the killing, I'm all for it.
Sounds like she solved that problem for you.
Mm-hmm. And then once Pink's off the board, it'll improve my board position, because now instead of me not getting the Africa continent bonus every turn, I'll at least get the Australia continent bonus every turn, which will even out this situation that Pete's creating, and maybe even give Pete opportunities to poke Yellow, which would also make me happy.
Yeah.
So to continue,
I agree with you, Olive, that the most interesting thing to do is for someone to die, and I think, having played with you before, you are interested in seeing the game not get to a really boring state, whereas like for me, I commit to 3 hours of streaming every night, and I'm prepared to sit there for 3 hours. So.
And if you play one game, you play one game, or?
It hasn't happened where I play one game for the whole night, but
right.
I'm prepared for it. Yeah.
All right. Asylum broke the alliance. He's coming in. He's coming in, ladies and gentlemen. He's had enough. Good for you, Asylum. Let's stir up the pot.
Yeah, I think this is a mistake, because then that puts you and him at war, and he doesn't want to go to war with anybody right now. Yeah, but I like that he did decide.
If you're in second place, you can either attack the strongest person to try like to break the balance, or you can like try to take out the weakest people.
Right.
In this case, what ends up happening here is now that like both Pete and Asylum like are weaker now.
Yeah, I don't think it improved. I don't think it improved Asylum's position to do that.
All it does is basically allow Storm like to keep like staying around. Like,
yeah.
Son, have you heard of Champion Ever?
I would have liked to have seen Storm actually take Europe here, so I'm surprised they didn't. Yeah, I do know Champion Ever. Yeah, I don't know him personally.
Yeah, so I just subscribe to their like theory a lot about the game. So I basically, use champion ever's theory when to basically get myself originally like to grandmaster, and I find like using like their strategy. Like I'm not obviously like, as good as them, but it's good enough to get me like there. And I guess as like a naturally like a 1v1 player, I want games to end like very quickly. So when they kind of like enter like this state like right here, I always feel as though it's just like, well, something's got to happen. But you seem like very like calm and relaxed, like you're in your element, your zone.
Right. Oh, by the way, I do want to make a comment here. Like, since I saw Storm not close the door on Iceland, and I know Pete would poke me, I should theoretically clean up all of Pete's stuff and then sit on Iceland with my main army. But then I don't want to stop Storm from taking Europe, so I need some confidence that Storm would close the door on that. But if they're not going to, that's going to create a problem for me. So I'm going to give Storm one chance to close the door on you. And then if that doesn't happen, then it's a problem for me, and then I have to.
He didn't close the door. Pete could put troops in. Well, actually, no.
No, highly unlikely. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Pete?
What were we talking about? Oh, I wanted you to continue your story of streaming. So what got you? What made you think of? Hey, I should try streaming Risk.
Oh, I maybe had like 40 hours on my phone, and I got to Grandmaster on the phone, and I've been really struggling with TF2. I've like over 10,000 hours in that game, and pretty burnt out on it, to be honest. So I was like I was streaming one day, and I was kind of itching to play Risk, but I didn't want to turn my stream off. So I was like, what if I just turn my stream on and play it? And people actually really liked it. So then, yeah, I've kind of had this love-hate relationship with streaming Risk, actually.
What do you love and hate about it?
I love that every time I log in and play it, I learn something, and I love that people really enjoy it when I make the content. It seems like people at least are having a good time that I'm streaming it, and I get a lot of good feedback. Like, some of the things that makes me really happy is I get some comments. People are like, "I binge watched all your videos. You know, I like put out more." So yeah, that makes me really happy. But I think what makes me unhappy is that I think the game mode that everyone wants to see me play, which is this fixed game mode, I think it's inherently like broken. Some of the things we talked about earlier. So I feel like in that case, it's somewhat solved for me in my head. So I would like to keep working on it to push my win rate higher, but I also feel like there will come a point where there's not much more to learn out of it, since there's nothing you can do to guarantee that you win every time.
It's impossible. If someone just wants to kill you, they're going to kill you. And if you're someone like me who games the system has a ridiculously high win rate, some people just want to kill you because they're jealous of your high win rate and just want to kill you for fun.
Yeah, that happens too. Yeah, I think one of my goals right now is to try and get to top 1,000 ranks, which I think is within reach. But it's less about the ranking for me and more like if I saw that you could push this game mode further. And I think I can push the game mode further in that, like, there's ways to make it more consistent to increase the win rate, but that I'm struggling with this idea that first place has no incentive to change the board state, and so I'm just wondering if the game will eventually get to this kind of is its natural point, if everyone's playing properly, is its natural tendency to go into a stalemate.
Have you ever tried caps?
Is the capital cities? I've heard of it, but I don't actually know much about it.
So caps is sort of the nth degree of what you're talking about, right? Caps adds an extra element of stalematiness to what is already, a fair criticism. Everything you just said, right? Like, I feel like my game this time around exemplifies what you're talking about, right? And I'm not trying to play this way to prove a point or anything. This is the way this cookie is crumbled. Yeah, well, I'm trying to win, as I would hope you all would expect of me at this point, right? So this is what me playing to win looks like, and if you want me to be silly, I can do that too. But
Right.
you're
We
also
did
playing to
the
win.
last time you played with us.
What happened? Was that me being
You were
silly?
there.
Was that
I
me
got
being
spiked
silly?
to kill Christine for fun.
Oh, got
That's
it.
right.
I was watching the world burn, and then I had the one serious game where it was like a 3-person thing with like Slin and Drew and me, and I managed to win that by doing an amazing kill off with Drew.
Yeah, that was fun.
Do you
I
ever
really enjoyed those games.
Do you ever think, Slin, that you might dip your toe into progressive then at some point once you feel like you've squeezed enough juice out of this game mode?
So yeah, there's 2 reasons why I play this game. One reason is that I think it's personally enjoyable.
Yep.
And then the second reason I do it is because other people like it when I play it. And I think there's that Venn diagram there, where the sweet spot is that if I can have fun while doing what people enjoy, then that's like the perfect situation. And I've asked my stream multiple times, like, would you want to see me play other game modes? And they're like, no, I want to see more classic fix. So I'm like, great. So I think that as long as that holds true, I'll probably keep playing classic fix, and as long as I'm still having fun and learning something playing it, I'll probably keep doing it. So I don't really have much reason to switch to progressive right now, even though it's, the carrot's there dangling.
Yeah, the preference for the community, I don't know if this stat is out of date at this point, but I think it's like 2-to-1 fixed to progressive. So I'm already like a niche within a niche.
Is that a vote wise, or what?
Yeah,
what do you think? 2-to-1?
Yeah. Like people prefer fixed over progressive and evidence would speak to that in lobbies, right? If you just go on Global Domination at any given time, you'll see how many fixed games are up versus how many progressive games are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there does seem to be a 60% favoritism, maybe 66% towards fixed.
And I think that makes sense because the fixed and the classic board are like, that's what Risk is in people's mind.
Yes.
And the other game modes are a way to spice it up if that mode gets boring, which I think is necessary given that we're kind of saying that maybe this game will kind of naturally settle at a stalemate.
Well, I mean, it will and it won't, right? Because this game will end.
True.
Inevitably, right? The human factor causes that to occur, if nothing else. And that's always been my fundamental criticism / question with capital modes is it seems like caps is ended by suicides and bot outs, not because if you were tell me what you think of this, Olive. If you were to code an AI to play caps optimally, the game wouldn't end. Is that fair?
Yeah, because the bots would realize it just doesn't make sense to attack the other player, because they would lose much more troops than they're gaining and only allow their opponents to be in a better state.
Man,
yeah,
Assam is just not letting us
I wonder why
grow.
I wonder why Asylum did that, but did not attack Alaska. Like, if you're gonna bother doing that, you should just attack Alaska.
I feel like he's antagonizing me as a test. No, I do. I feel like I'm being tested here.
Now, Pete, why do you have a 10 on Greenland? Like, what is that doing for you? So,
the rationale here is because I was fully expecting somebody to try and fuck with me at some point, as Asylum now has twice, and I want to be able to mobilize my. I don't want my 3-point guard to be locked in 3 positions. I want some amount of variability, given that it is strategically correct for people to not just sit there and let me win the game.
Mm-hmm. You wanted to be able to have to be able to split that 30 off and go somewhere else while leaving something to block Greenland.
Meanwhile, now Asylum from doing that has caused you to be in the second place, so he's paid a price for that.
Right, and that goes back to the whole point is like, and I'm pretty sure the optimal way to play is to just not do anything.
Sure, I agree.
I'm
trying my best.
Yeah, I got this idea from Master Risk because he's like the first guy that I watched that really, I feel like I learned a lot about the game from him.
Okay.
I think he didn't do a lot of things, like he didn't play extremely optimally. I think he played 96% optimally. I think there were some things he could have done better, but I think like a lot of his core concepts were like super on point about, you know, not defending your borders, and, you know, if you play perfectly, you should just be chilling in South America, chilling forever. And I took a lot of that from him. I feel like, you know, you just sit in Africa, I don't have to do anything, and even if you were poking my North Africa, I just kind of sat there. So what's gonna happen now is like Storm's under a lot of pressure, and maybe because this player's kind of gets
So a
bored.
couple things could be done. Someone could try to knock out Asylum's enclave, to therefore force them to attack either North America or Africa and create tension between like those two. Like that's an option.
Hmm?
Storm should not be attacking because someone could try to take out Storm because again, like she's just like in the middle.
She just gets bored. I played with Storm enough to know she just gets bored. It's like I don't know how many more turns
on someone
at some point.
Her.
Yeah, at some point I'm trying not to piss her off.
Slin, one thing you could do is like try to take out Asylum's position. You're not.
No, that's exactly the vibe I was getting. Was like, oh, Storm is getting bored.
Yeah, 100%.
And that kind of goes back to that Venn diagram I was talking about, where like there's something about doing it because other people enjoy you doing it, and there's something about also do you enjoy doing it, you know?
Well,
and for me, like,
not to be too
I think there would come a
high-minded.
point where you eventually get to you understand this exact format so well that maybe you won't learn anything more from it.
I think like not to be too high-minded about what you do, but you know, this video production is you are creating art, and I have a personal belief that good art is for the artist first. Yes.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know what you would think of that, or agree or disagree, but
Can you expand on it? Yeah. I would
sure.
like to-
So, I mean, if you accept the premise that what we are doing here is making art in some form, which I understand could be considered a stretch.
not everybody, but yeah.
Yeah, but if you
I could see it.
if you accept that as truth, I have always found, and like this is a quality question, so there's no objective right answer, but I've always found that good art to me is found in the authenticity of the creation. So the artist is making their creation for themselves because it is beautiful or meaningful or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, subsequent to that, is appreciated by people. So the creation is authentic first, and that's what informs all of this video work that I do, and why I don't really care to edit, because the skills that I am offering have nothing to do with video production and editing, and all to do with just let's be in the moment, let's have fun, and let's also, you know, try and get better at this game.
So, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to this question. I was just interested to know your perspective on it, because I think bodybuilding is a good example of one where it really depends what your goals are. Some people are like, oh, the goal is to be healthy, and some people are like, well, it's about aesthetics and the way you look. And you know, I don't think either person is wrong. It's whatever they want out of it. And I think for you, it sounds like you know what you want out of this, the content creation. Whereas like for me, I have a different goal.
Which is?
Well, actually, I'm not entirely certain what that goal is yet, but I know it's not the same as yours. But here's my latest thinking on it.
Yes.
So I got back into streaming like 2 months ago, and it was only Risk. And the reason I did it was because I figured I want to budget time out of my day to play video games because I think it'll be fun. I was kind of noticing that like work kind of takes over my life sometimes, and if I don't like force myself to play video games, I'm not going to. And I really like video games, so I wanted to like create time for myself, which sounds preposterous when I was like younger and had 16 hours a day to play TF2. But now when I'm older, it's like kind of hard to find a couple hours a day. So if I make it 3 hours a day, like I'm definitely going to be able to play 3 hours a day, which I find is good. But now that I'm doing it 3 hours a day, I find that like my goal kind of changes. Like I kind of want to grow the channel. So I'm willing to like do something that I don't personally enjoy if it grew the channel and people enjoyed it. And that kind of sounds like very social media, like modern, like, oh, everyone's trying to just grow their number. But I do think there's something about like it creates connections. People seem to enjoy it. And so if it makes them happy, like I'm happy. And that number going up is a measurement of like whether or not it's working.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't actually. Okay, I have to dig into this more because, there goes Storm. All right, now we have
That
a
happened eventually.
It was bound to happen eventually.
That's right.
Okay, so Slin, you said that I have different goals than you. What makes you think that, and what would you say those goals are?
Yeah, it sounded like the primary motive for you is for personal happiness, followed by sharing that widely to whether people are not like that or not. Whereas like I'm suggesting that, and I don't know this to be true, but I'm hypothesizing that my personal goal, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Sure.
Is to for other people's happiness, and then my happiness is like a secondary goal.
Well, that seems like a false dichotomy, though, because you're creating this, you're doing this work, and people enjoy it. To suggest that it's not for you strikes me as very odd, right? Whether or not the people enjoy it or you enjoy it, you still get the satisfaction out of growing your channel and watching the number go up and so on. So it's still, maybe the word selfish doesn't apply because it has the negative connotation. But
yeah, you're saying that when other people get satisfaction out of it, and I will become happy out of that. So ultimately, it is for me. What
I'm saying is there is no such thing truly as altruism, right? Because we feel satisfied when we do good. Is this too philosophical for you?
I think so. I think so. Okay. Do you feel like when you do it for yourself? So I think what we're ultimately talking about, but tell me if I'm wrong, is the root content, the content that you create.
Okay.
Meaning, like, I think what we're ultimately talking about is, do you enjoy what you're doing? Like, and there's this concept of selling out, right? Which is the idea that you do something else, not because you enjoy it, but because it gets you paid.
Okay.
And what I'm suggesting is, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it for other people's enjoyment. And my satisfaction coming out of it or any like money coming out of it is something that's just a byproduct of that. Whereas like what I heard you say was that you genuinely enjoyed creating that content, and that's the most important thing to you, that you enjoy creating that content.
So I've actually asked myself all these questions, and the closest thing, you're right with all that, but the closest thing I can tell you to why I'm doing this work is I want to, I don't presume to ever be the best, but I want to be the best, right? I seek it. So part of the process of learning this game and mastery of this game is understanding the community, understanding how. Look, if I raise the floor, right? If I am influential in any way and I can make the average game better, then I make my games better. I have stronger opponents, right? And my wins would be, right, even slightly more valuable. Yes? Is that... Stop me if I'm saying anything that doesn't seem like it makes sense, because I do appreciate when people push back at this.
I feel like... No, when I say I'm just saying I understand what you're saying. Not necessarily that I agree with it.
Yeah.
But like, I admire that. I think that's great, because what I'm hearing you say is that you love the game so much that you want to push the skill level of the game higher so that you get better games out of it.
Yes.
Which I think is a totally reasonable reason to make content.
Thanks.
But it's not the same reason as my reason.
Gotcha.
You lose 3 troops attacking a 1? I never saw that before. In a balanced blitz, you can lose 3 troops attacking a 1.
I didn't know that either.
Holy cow, that's so cool. Okay, sorry, continue.
Did he have a slider on?
No, I just lost 3 troops. That's amazing.
Huh. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that either.
Huh.
Okay,
you learn something new every day with this game.
Asylum is getting bored too.
Yeah.
That means I should shore up my defenses, because he's fucking poked me a bunch of times.
What was interesting to me about that move that he just did was that I took 3 of his territories, but then he didn't break Africa, which he was trying to do the whole time.
Asylum is playing very, very unpredictably this game. Wouldn't you all agree?
He's been playing wild, but also playing controlled. He's
I would predict that
he's
not going to suicide on me.
What do you think he's doing, Olive?
He's being wild, but also being controlled. He's like attacking and keeping the game moving, while still keeping his troops relatively strong. He's attacking multiple times, so he has the same number of troops as Slin. He attacks Slin multiple times, and still has like the same number of troops. He's also managed to keep his enclave outside. So like he's been the one kind of like I think pulling the strings throughout the entire game. And besides like Kilted's one good move taking Australia, everyone else just kind of like been going with the flow. Slin being the most passive because it's allowed him to build up like a really big army.
Wouldn't it be great if somebody just took a Asylum 45 stack right out of there, though? That would be so satisfying.
So, Pete, are you going to come along for the ride here and move your 60 out of Central into Kamchatka?
Yeah. What is the suggestion?
Maybe we kill Pink off.
Oh, we team up on Pink. But then Asylum is benefits. And I don't trust him one bit because he's broken me multiple times.
Wow. I was suggesting with Yellow that we team up together to deal with Pink, and now he takes my continent.
He is indeed crazy. It's not just a clever name.
We should do something about that.
Yeah, what do you suggest?
War.
Excellent.
All right. Now, here's a serious something I wanted to ask you, Slin. So, like, when you commentate like your YouTube channels, like in your Risk videos, like you find a way to talk like the whole time, like kind of give like unique commentary about you're thinking about what other players are doing, what they're thinking. Like, how do you manage like to captivate an audience throughout like an entire game like this as you're kind of going through it? Like I'm trying to talk about this game, but I feel like after like 5 minutes, like I'm out of like ideas. But like you can, like your videos, you just like go like on and on, like, and in a way that's like interesting. Like I love being subscribed to you. So like, how do you manage to do that?
Yeah, I appreciate the compliment. It's well, I think with any game and game theory, you can always go further down the rabbit hole of. You start with like, and I don't know what the term is for. I wish I remember the term. There's like there's word for it, but like you start with what you're thinking, and then you think about what your opponent's thinking, and then what do you do about the way your opponent's thinking, and then you could go with what they should do off of that. You could probably go 4 layers deep, and then it's the next person's turn already. Your 60 seconds is up, and someone else's move, and then you could just do it all over again. So you could always just rehash that. What am I thinking? Okay, he moved out of Africa. What am I thinking? And then what is he thinking now that I thought that? You know. So you could always just go over and over again. But I think that's what's fun about it is for me, and something that I've always wondered about this game when I first started getting into it was, there's no mechanics in this game. Like if you play Valorant or League of Legends or something, there's always an element of mechanics involved here, and you're limited by like how good your mechanics are. But in this game, everyone has the same level of mechanics. So then it's very. You're just what are you thinking right now? That's all there is to talk about and digest, really.
Yeah, what I like to do is more just a bit more stream of consciousness. Like I kind of talk about what's going on and what I'm thinking in the moment. I don't know. It's probably similar to what you're doing, Slin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
otherwise it would distract from the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with strategy games, so the other game that is strategy related that I really enjoy watching is StarCraft. And I don't play StarCraft at all, but the strategy is always interesting to me of like, should you expand and improve your economy, or should you attack? And then what is giving you what's the input to that decision? And that's always been fascinating to me about that in Risk as well.
StarCraft was actually the game I played before getting into Risk.
Really?
I sucked at it. Yeah, because in StarCraft 2, the fundamental like principle decides if you're good or not is like your actions permitted, or APM, because you have to constantly like build up an economy, you have to build an army, and then attack effectively with your army. And if someone can like type on their keyboard and mouse 300 times a minute, and like Grandpa me can only do it about like 50 times a minute.
Yes.
They're doing 6 times more stuff than me, and then they're just going to crush me and win the game, even if I'm playing better than them, because they can just do more things than me. So that's what kind of turned me off about the game.
Mhm.
So like, even though there's like a strategy element and there's lots of things you can talk about because the game is like so intricate, for something like Risk, like I was never the most video game centric person, but as long as you can kind of learn like muscle memory, like how to like to click kind of accurately like on the screen, you can learn to attack like pretty fast, like and effectively, and that just like kind of helps you like a lot. And then what kind of separates a good from like the best players, kind of like what you said before, Slin, like the human element. Like there is some human element in StarCraft too, but it kind of comes down like a lot to strategy. If you can read the person and then you can figure out how do I then want to play to beat the person, that's what makes I think this game like super unique, and I think that's what you're like you kind of excel at, and that is like I think your greatest strength.
Thanks. I like the I think chess is kind of like that, right? Where it's like this very heavy strategy game, but you don't have to worry about mechanics unless you're playing with bullet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, to me, chess makes my head spin a little bit, whereas like this game I find very easy to like just look at the board and understand. It's much more relaxed.
Relaxing, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
For a war game, that's kind of funny, huh?
You can see all the moves by looking at the board right now, whereas like on chess you have to draw arrows to communicate the depth of each line of thought.
Well, it's also deeper, right? There's more.
Oh yeah,
more possibilities with. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Like, the dice are a nice wrinkle. Like, do you ever play True Random? What do you think of True Random?
No, I don't. I don't actually.
Yeah. What do you think? Would you? Do you have any opposition to it inherently?
No, I don't think it makes a difference. But I think if I'm playing competitively, I think if I'm trying to figure out who's the best player, then I do think that normalizing the roles does make it more consistent, and which leads to a more competitive environment. Yeah.
Agreed.
So in TF2, there's this concept of random bullet spread. So TF2 is meant to be a casual game. That's what the developers made that game to be, compared to like Quake, which is very competitive 1v1 dueling. And so in order to make the game more casual friendly, they introduced two areas of randomness. One is they introduced random bullet spread. So every time you shoot, it doesn't always come out in the same pattern, which is, you could be aiming dead center and it would still miss sometimes, which is bad for competitive players. And then also they have random crits, which is like as a percentage, random percentage, it's a single digit percentage, but if you shoot, you'll just do like double damage. And the more damage you're doing, the increased crit chance you get. But it's completely random, and so when you play competitively, you just turn all those things off because the consistency is how you know someone's actually better, as opposed to just winning for luck. Like, if I was playing against UP, I would want to make sure that the rolls are relatively consistent. If you send your 175 into 138, it should win every time, and not because I got a random freak accident of like 26s in a row.
Yeah, of course. Everyone would want the game to be as consistent as possible. The
fundamental, I think you hit the nail on the head, Slin. It's a fundamental design principle. People that are very into competitive games want things to be decided by skill and not by luck.
Yes.
Because they want to be able to control the aspect of their game. If people lack the ability to kind of control the game and they feel like something's outside of their control, they get turned away from the game, like as a result from a competitive aspect to it. So by Risk putting in balanced blitz, and by having the ability to turn camera animations off, they create this skill element where people can differentiate each other from their abilities, and that is what creates the best players from like one another. So I think you hit like the nail on the head, like right there, like kind of why balanced blitz like really works out.
So I just in this game, we've reached the point where I feel the game is officially broken.
Yep.
So what I would have wanted to do is kill off Pink, so that me and Yellow could team up against Pete. But we're past that point now because Pink is too strong, and me suiciding into Pink would actually damage us too much, and then Pete would just have too many units to win the game. So now I can't kill Pink. No one can kill Pink actually, unless Yellow and I both start sending units into. But Pink just has too many units that Pete would just win the game. And Pete has no incentive to kill Pink either. So now we're just gonna watch the turn timer go by until someone decides to suicide and the game's over.
Yep. Or until I inevitably win.
Or another option, Slin, is that you just take out all of Yellow's territories outside of South America, then park your troops in North Africa.
Or I could, or Yellow and I could say, you know what, screw it. In order for the good of the game and not to make sure Pete doesn't win, I will take Europe and park my units in Greenland, and then let me catch up so that I can keep wailing on Pete. But
or
then,
what Pete can do is he can take out all like Yellow territories, take his 23 in Siberia, and then he could then park that in Greenland, and have the game continue from there.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
Oh, Kilded's had enough. Kilded's had enough. There we go. There we go.
And now they created movement in the game.
Opportunity to do something.
Exactly, because if I kill Pink, then the game does progress. So I actually probably do want to kill Pink here. Or if Pink had the same number of units as Pete, then I would kill Pete instead. But now, given the situation, yeah, the right move here is to kill Pink. So for the good of the game.
Bye.
Well, that's the price you pay for being bored, you know?
I hear ya.
Is that you exit the game early. You basically volunteered to leave the game.
That's just the second time that happened. So whoever takes Australia ends up losing.
Cursed.
So, Slin, you know what you just signed yourself up for now, right?
Well, actually, if I had more time to think, I might have not have put my units on Siam. I might have put my units in Alaska. But I think this is still okay. I would expect Yellow to take Africa here.
So now the three-player situation's unique here, right? Because now, balance is a lot more tentative. You attack one player, naturally the other one becomes stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get to the three-player situation, that's when things, I think, become, the most, unique.
Yeah, that's the real endgame, for sure.
Yeah. So fundamentally, at, this point right here... So Pete, you know what you're going to have to do now?
Tell me, Olive. What am I going to have to do?
You need to take North America and South America.
All of us microing Pete right now. Right, this is Yellow's mistake.
Yep, and then you want to park your 88 into Alaska. No, your 88, not this one, because otherwise Asylum's going to attack you.
Yeah, he can attack me.
No, he can't. He's just going to take his 106 and hit your 40. If you move your 88 from Iceland over, he would have just taken Europe. Slin would have been trapped. Yeah, or then Slin's just going to attack you.
Yeah, they can attack me if they want.
Yeah, now everyone just focused on you.
So the unfortunate part is that Yellow goes after me, so they always get to see what I'm gonna do first. So I could attack Pete, and then Yellow decides not to.
Yeah, they can team on me if they want to team on me. I mean, that's how I lose, right? If I get teamed up on.
You are the strongest player right now, so...
But it's negligible.
Now this is the part where it gets interesting. Slin is not talking because he's oh gosh, I'm playing with grandmasters.
I'm thinking about my move, yeah.
I would have put a couple more troops down. You could have easily lost 6 attacking that 4 and then not being able to take Australia, which I think was critical to your strategy right there.
I'm not that crazy about Australia. I'm just making sure Pete doesn't have it.
That was a bad roll by Asylum. That was basically the worst possible roll.
Although I probably should have killed Japan, in hindsight.
But you guys are attacking each other and maintaining balance.
Yeah, this is the most interesting part of the game, is where do things end? Okay.
Dude, you should have. You're gonna leave 28 there. You might as well have. Leaving 23 right there. Oh,
Ooh.
that's cool. I like that.
Fascinating.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, wow, Pete.
Try my best here, you know? Try my best.
Right?
Fucking Slin, taking the lead. Look at that. That's some good work, sir.
Yeah, so now Asylum's the one not holding a continent, so he needs to do something that tries to give him an advantage. This is an important move for him right here,
Yeah.
because otherwise UMP will just get like a lot stronger.
We do appreciate Kilted Sacrifice because this endgame has gotten real interesting real quick.
So, Pete, what's your background? Did you play Risk always, or did you do other games before Risk?
Yeah, so I played the board game since I was a little kid, and once we just you know the meme of Risk taking forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to if you play progressive. So we got into playing progressive at some point, and it was just like, oh, now the game actually ends in a night. So it got more fun, and then I've been playing free-for-all multiplayer a ton, and then I got into Magic the Gathering, which I'm guessing somewhat. Do you know of?
I do Magic the Gathering. I don't play it personally, but I know a lot about it.
Okay, so I got into Commander specifically, which is basically played as a 4-player free-for-all multiplayer game, typically. So it's you and three other guys playing, and it's anyone can win and all versus all. And I got into that for almost a decade until the pandemic comes around, and now I can't sit at a table with my buddies. So then I got into Risk again, and I've always really carefully avoided video games because I have such a tendency towards addiction. And this example is no different because, a year and a half later, I'm a YouTube partner and I play this game all the time and I'm, known in the community and whatnot, right? So no Asylum, no! So that's the long and the short of it. What do I do here? You're now looking real good, eh, Slin?
I'm not. Asylum doesn't like this position that I'm in.
What happens if I take Asia? How do you guys feel about Asia? Good or not so good? Yes, no? Asia? Anybody?
I think Asylum has to choose his buddies now. He's gonna say, "Oh, okay, who do I not like more?"
Come on, Slin. You want to let me hold Asia, right? It's fine. Nobody ever holds Asia. Yeah, I do miss playing Magic. I figured I would get back into it once things opened up, but they haven't really opened up, first of all, and second of all, it's one of those games that's so complex you really need to keep up with it, and just me not reading cards for the last year
buying more decks and stuff, or...
Well, I mean, it would just be a couple $100 to own everything from the last year, but I haven't read the cards, so I don't know what has really evolved in terms of design and... Right? And that's a key thing to understand.
But I think keeping up with it is the fun of it, whether you're keeping up with Risk or keeping up with that game. Yeah,
it's part of the fun of it. I don't want to let my buddies down by not being base competent. So that's also part of it, right? But one of the good things about Risk that I'm enjoying a lot more than Magic is because I didn't play competitively, and because Risk is ranked, there is sort of an objective measure that says this is, your rank, and we can dig into how true rank is and what it means and all that, but the fact of the matter is that there is a number next to my name, and an audience person tuning into my channel can say, oh, Pete, you're ranked top 10 blah blah blah, And
That's always fun.
yeah, well, it tells you a lot quickly if you're not super deep into it.
Yeah, 100%.
It looks like Asylum is just letting you win, right?
No, I don't think that's the case here.
What's he up to?
I am a little surprised that Asylum didn't take South America here.
Yeah.
I think that would have been the best move there. Ideally, in a 3-player situation, either A, 2 people turn up against the Australian player holding North America, South America, the other one holding Europe, Africa, and then they build like a huge armies, hitting them in the Australian player till one person makes a move and try like to win the game. Or B, one person holds South America, one person holds like Australia, and then they team up on like the third person. In this case here, we're having like kind of like a mix of both, where like Asylum's not trying to hold something, and he's just trying to do like too much. It's like giving P like the opportunity to kind of like hold like all this Asia stuff, and like Asylum's just kind of attacking around. You can see now, like, as a result of this, his troop count's fallen by like around like 20 or 30 below where like the other groups people are. If this keeps up, he's going to slowly bleed his troops away until he becomes significantly weaker.
Well, what Pete and I have effectively done here is Asylum's now the Australia player, which is what neither of us wanted to be. So Pete, where do you see your channel going? Like, what's your dream for it?
It was always just about, hey, I'm better.
Also,
at this
do you want to
than
finish Europe? By the way, sorry, I'm distracting you on your turn.
I do want to finish.
Maybe finish Europe and then
Then answer the question.
then we become buddies.
We are buddies.
Oh, you're going over there? Okay, never mind.
No, I'm not going over there. I'll be fine. It'll be fine. Where do I want this stack, though?
Okay.
Where do I want this stack? I want this stack somewhere, but I don't know where. Do I trust Mr. Slin? Yeah, Middle East, Ukraine, something like that. Yeah. I don't know if I.
Yeah. So you were saying about the direction of your channel, where you wanted to go.
Oh, it was always about, oh, I'm better at this than I thought, and the act of recording myself was instrumental in getting better, at least for me, right? Observing my own thinking, making the thought concrete, had tremendous benefit. So, yeah, just my previously stated goal. If I can, be known as a good Risk player, then I've already achieved my goal. So I don't know what comes next, right? Like I'm a YouTube partner. That's incredible. I never thought that would even be a thing. So, fuck, I don't know what to do.
You guys think what you have to do is you have to win a tournament. Again.
For what?
I think you need to win a free, like the official Risk Discord free-for-all tournament. You got like the second, so if you can make the finals again, you could be someone like Zerap, who's made like multiple finals before.
Yeah, I wish. That'd be amazing. Hey, Slin, are you going to compete?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I was talking to Christina about what tournaments are out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a man of the people. I got to do what they want me to do.
Fair enough.
Like, does your audience know about these Risk tournaments, though? So, because I feel like
yeah, they do. They totally do. Yeah. What they want is more fixed classic, and they want to play with me in fixed classic.
Which
we'll
you're not.
Behaviour games tomorrow.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I normally wouldn't, but
why normally you wouldn't?
Because I want the content to be relatable. I want people to be able to see like they can do it themselves.
Why do you find that viewer games are unrelatable?
I think people play with other people like that much. I could be wrong. Okay, now Pete.
Yo.
You know the key to this game is teaming up together, and then turning on one player, right?
You want to turn on Asylum, is what you're saying?
Well, it just seems like you're not teaming up with me very well here, or you're teaming up with me on your terms.
I didn't fucking break you. You broke me, bud.
No, that's definitely not true. You definitely broke South America first.
No, I would never do that. All right, let's kill Asylum. I'm down. I'll play ball. I'll play ball. But like, can I trust you?
I mean, I'm already. Who am I closer to right now?
You know what some of the most dangerous words in history are?
Can
Can I trust you?
Who's it more dangerous for, you or me?
Don't you break me, Asylum. Ah, you broke me. Rats. I don't have a great match, though. Alright, Slin. Let's do this.
What does doing this look like? Because my South America looks rather exposed.
Yeah, so does my Africa and my Europe.
Well, you didn't even lock it down properly. You didn't put it on Ukraine or Middle
Yeah,
East,
no way to lock it down the first move based on where he was right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
why?
in a show of solidarity, you should have moved your 63 out of Greenland.
I mean, one thing at a time. I'm pointing a 48 stack at Asylum's face, so that's what I'm willing to dedicate to this endeavor.
Yeah, but I don't want to lose this setup, so I'm afraid he's going to come and.
You see, this is the problem. Even in VC, you can't get people to trust you.
I can go like this. No, because I have to stop him from poking me, right? Like he can't come up to the right.
Why don't you just Why don't you just throw like 40 troops into a stack and I'll throw 40 troops into his... Yeah, there you go.
I can go like this. Yeah. Now I can't come to the right.
All right.
And I'm blocking him going to the left.
All right, so Slin. If I throw 48 troops into a stack, how do you feel about that?
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, let's,
I was thinking of like bleeding him out,
Hey, you tell me. It's your show. What's the strategy here?
Well, I was thinking I'd hold Kamchatka and then you hold Ukraine, Middle East, and we are going to be Gucci. But
he changed it up.
It seems like he's not stoked about this.
He changed it up. Man, this Asylum's an unpredictable fellow.
Yeah, I think that was a really good move. He realized that you guys were about to like go up against him.
He did realize.
He has really good intuition, or Pete, you're speaking way too loudly.
Yeah, I'm shouting. I'm shouting into the void. I am a loud person, it's true.
Thing is, by Asylum fortifying right there, you should have fortified to China. Because now he's only able to break Pete. And that just lets Slim become strong.
Yeah, see, I wonder why Pete didn't do Middle East Ukraine. He left a little hole in the middle there.
Come at me. Well, I was letting
that's
Asylum.
The thing he's going to.
I was letting Asylum hold Australia. I could have taken the whole Australia, but I didn't. You see? This is what happens. Oh, Asylum, no! No, Asylum!
That's funny. I can hear the wheels turning.
I mean,
in your head.
I don't really want to keep playing this forever. But I will. But I will. Oh.
You lose that. You lose that every day of the week.
Ah, I lost.
That never wins.
Oh! It wins some percentage of the time.
Well, you true ranted it, right? As long as you did the manual slow roll.
You saw me do the manual slow roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that actually save in terms of percentages? You would know this.
It's
42% are true random, 33% under balanced blitz.
42%? Wow, that's better than I thought.
How do you know the balanced blitz percentages?
Well, there's a table on the Risk Discord, and also I just memorized it.
I need that table. What the heck?
Yeah. Basically, the rule of balanced blitz work is that it removes like the highest amount of variance. Basically, like the top 50% best rolls, they kind of just basically give like a standard amount, and then they remove the worst 15% of rolls.
I'll put it in the show notes, Slin, so that people can refer to this table.
Yeah. So fundamentally, like what ends up, the way balanced blitz works as well is that if your odds under true random are greater than 50%, balanced blitz rewards you and then gives you an extra percentage, and then after you get like a certain amount, like I think like 70% under true random, it adds up to 15%. The implication is that if you get more than 85% under true random, it's always 100% under balanced blitz. And then, likewise, if you're below 50%, balanced blitz actually harms you and lowers your chances to win. And after around, like I think, like 30-25%, it lowers it by 15%. And then the implication is that if you're under 50% in true random, you always get 0% under balanced blitz. So therefore, if it's 2v1, under true random it's 42%. Therefore, under balanced blitz, it punishes you, and therefore it would only give you a 33%. Therefore, to increase your chances to win, you do a slow roll instead of the balanced blitz. It increases your odds just a little bit.
Wait, you can't see. I might have got some information, but I thought when you do a slow roll in a balanced blitz games, it doesn't roll it as true random. It rolls it as balanced blitz odds.
Yeah, I remember I saw that from your YouTube videos. Like, I don't think that's the case.
Really?
I think slow roll truly is
true random
basically
odds.
putting a true random in a balanced blitz game. If you use a slider, I think that slider would follow balanced blitz rules.
That's so weird that it would do that.
But the true random dice itself would just be.
I feel like even the slider is true random at this point. But we'll need confirmation on which way it goes. I feel like Obi-Wan would be the guy to talk to about all that. He loves all the dice odds stuff. The stalemate continues, huh?
People are still like attacking each other.
Oh, we're working, but we don't seem to be getting anywhere. We tried to make a deal, Slin. It didn't take.
We did, but then you stopped killing him for some reason.
No, because he moved. He threw me off the scent. I got confused.
Well, you can still get Asia. Ah. Tell me more. Yeah.
I love how this part is just like there's like no more interview. It's just like let's just play Risk. This is the exciting part.
No, we both get
sacrifice is not in vain.
We both get distracted.
All this fun.
We both get distracted, man.
I'm like genuinely curious how this is going though.
Yeah. Isn't it fun to play against good opponents?
Well, honestly, next time it should be we're gonna play Risk together and we just play Risk together, or it's a podcast. This is how the podcast normally goes.
Oh, like you sit down and talk. This is absolutely how the podcast goes. I like the format of the show. Right? It's very casual.
It starts out with yeah.
Well, no, Olive was. Thanks for all your help, man. You've had some heavy hitting questions. I don't know. I got some more questions lined up, but I think we've touched on pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I got okay. Here's what I like to. Okay, you go, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, so I was like a really big proponent of TF2 for a decade.
Okay. And
I really wanted to see that game grow, and I thought that if I made content for it, like all hours of the day, it would grow, and I was wrong.
Okay.
I think it still has a chance to grow, but it not through my hand, but like if the developers were to somehow like take a more active role in the game.
Sure.
How do you feel about the future of Risk? Do you feel like this game is like it's gonna stay the way it is, or do you feel like something will change?
So, I've been chatting with Lucy, and one of the things that...
Who's Lucy, by the way?
Lucy is one of the devs.
Okay.
And one of the things that she told me was the best way that we can effect change is by having a lot of votes. So if we can make a suggestion and have that suggestion be mass upvoted, that will raise the profile of that specific suggestion and raise the likelihood of it being implemented. Whether or not that leads to more eyeballs and more players, I can't speak to, but obviously I would like the game to grow. It's a household name, so I feel like there's a bit of a resource problem going on.
Mm-hmm.
As far as risk, what the hell do I do here? I've been really careful not to piss off Asylum. I don't have to. Let's see if he turns on you. I've been really careful not to piss off Asylum.
You lose 5 troops attacking a 1?
Did I?
Yeah.
That's crazy. It is still
It's
BP,
hilarious.
right?
Okay.
Maybe the update has changed.
I think once troop size gets very large,
Yeah,
round split starts becoming like true random at that point.
got it. That sucks. I don't want to lose 5 troops. Yeah, so just finish the thought, right? Risk is a Hasbro property, but it's licensed by SMG to make this iteration of the game. So, fuck both you guys.
But you say fuck both of us, but then why didn't you? Oh, there it goes.
There goes. I got you.
Making sure you're doing it right, you know.
No worries. Yeah, man. I figure with more resources, more players, obviously, bigger, better game, right? That's what I'm all about, and that's what I'm trying to promote. I'm trying to get more people in. I don't know. Obviously, I haven't been around as long as you, so I don't have data to suggest what my influence possibly could be, and I'm not even close to as influential as somebody like Champ, right? So, but yeah, if not this, then another, right? The bones of this game are so good, and it's been alive for so long now, right? That almost anyone you talk to has played at least once, or knows someone, has a wrist board in their house, all that, right? So I figure, and this game is great, so there's no reason why they can't just crank out more map packs, and it's a money issue basically.
Yeah, they need more players giving more money in order to increase the number of developers and work that they do.
Exactly.
So
See, I take a different perspective. Oh yeah, go for that. Well,
Yeah.
I want to understand that perspective, that like more content is going to make the game better, because I feel like the people just want the base game. If they could just fix that, it settles in a stalemate. To me, that's what would make the game big. Whereas like you guys are thinking, oh, more skins or more maps or something would make the game bigger. And I'm just trying to follow that train of thought.
I think people see this game, and like your audience represents it perfectly, Slin. They see it as classic fix, playing just like this right here, and it has its elements to it. But when people think about this, like growing the scene, like becoming like well aware, like people like playing this game out, like in like a large like audience, fundamentally, a lot of times it just becomes like a waiting game. It's very hard to kind of talk about it, and that's kind of what prevents it from growing a lot. The thing about understanding the other elements of Risk, other types of game modes, different types of maps, and like other ways like to play the game, those elements I think are like what are like very exciting. But the majority of the player base, I don't think like recognizes that. They just see Risk just like as this. And while it is like very fun, it's hard to really expand the base to a lot of people who don't necessarily want to play a game that naturally has a lot of waiting. And I think as long as that mentality like is in the place, like the devs can do a lot of things to improve the cosmetics, have like more maps. And the people who are like the most ardent fans, like Pete and me, will definitely play and enjoy them. But it'll just be very challenging, I think, to expand the base like further until like you can do some like type of like better marketing or a better idea to kind of change the mentality of how people can view and play this game.
Another thing,
Yeah, that makes sense.
just on that point, I think people, if we can somehow get into the public consciousness that you can play a game of Risk now in 20 minutes instead of multiple hours, I think that would help onboarding a lot of people, because they just, that meme about Risk taking forever, they have in their consciousness that this game is a time commitment, which it is not. Not if the turn timer is, 60 seconds and everyone's paying attention. So
That did draw me to the game originally. Is that like, oh wow, this game can wrap up in half an hour sometimes, as opposed to the 4-hour game that I remember it as.
right. Yeah, so maybe
Yeah, I
that
agree.
as part of the messaging, right? If they could, put like a thumbnail up with like the 20-minute version of Risk or whatever, that would probably be pretty compelling. Not that I'm an ad wizard by any means, but that would just be a thought. All right, Olive. How do we get out of this one? Slin's setting it up.
Well, like, so Slin's done. So Slin's made a good move here. Probably what Asylum would have to do is take his 124 and hit Slin's 20. Actually, you can't do that.
Oh, Asylum asks me to do the dirty work, eh? I see. All right, Asylum, I'll play ball.
I definitely was noticing over the last 3 turns that you guys are ganging up on me.
Wasn't anything as such, but if Asylum wants to make a deal, let's see if he follows through.
Yeah, the thing about him following through is that I get to go first.
Hey, man, this game's got to end sometime, right? Uh-oh.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny. I did drop into 3rd place somehow over the last few turns.
It's because a lot of your rolls, you're losing like multiple troops when like attacking. Yeah, and then basically when you took North and South America, everyone focused their attention on you.
Well, the way I figured was that like Yellow had 5 units per turn from Europe, and Pete had 5 units per turn from Africa and Australia, so I needed something going on.
That seems reasonable.
See, now Yellow's doing the same exact move.
Yeah, but this time they didn't guard their borders, so if someone were to attack them, they would lose some troops, but they wouldn't lose anything crazy.
That makes sense. Oh, Pete.
Yeah?
Peter.
What? What's the
Oh,
matter?
jeez.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Sorry.
am I gonna make it over there? I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
Probably not.
Oh,
Why
jeez,
did you
Pete.
balance blitz that?
Oh, yeah. It's
Did you not listen to my explanation? Am I nothing but chopped liver to you?
It's force of habit.
It is.
Hard habit to break. Oh, you don't want to hang out.
Ah,
Don't want to hang out in Africa. Yeah, isn't it the worst when you give people advice and they don't learn?
I know I ramble on, but come on, Slin. Am I just really just like the comedic person at this time?
I really did forget.
It's only
Oh,
60
this is
seconds. How do you, it's only 60 seconds. How do you go off of anything other than your subconscious? Are you calculating a lot, Slin, when you play? Or are you playing mostly off of feel?
I mean, in terms of like percentages and rolls and stuff like that kind of thing?
I mean, in terms of how intentional are you with every single decision?
Oh, yeah, very intentional. Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm like, listen to my breakdown. I'm doing like you know, a minute of breakdown on each move. If I lose right here, though, I would not be surprised. I'm in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, we're just chasing you, right?
Yeah, Asylum did not want to work with me to take you down.
He didn't really want to work with me either. For what it's worth. I had to wait until he suggested it to me.
You're basically forcing Asylum to. So normally it's something like this when like you're like the third weak player.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to try to do is make one of the other players focus on the other.
Mm-hmm.
So something that you can like try to do is either just be very passive, only take one territory per turn, hope they focus on each other because one of them's trying to take too many territories.
Mm-hmm.
The other option is you just focus on only attacking one player, and then make it so it's not in their benefit to ally with the other person. In this case, right now you're just trying to take like a somewhat hybrid approach where you're attacking I think Asylum like a little bit more, but Asylum's a stronger player so you can like take like a little bit more hits. And you guys are really high on troops anyway, so no one's. And if at this point if anyone attacked anyone's big stack, they would just lose right away.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like stack sizes have to get below 100 for like everybody, for I think those principles to hold. And since you guys aren't really attacking each other enough, it is leading to the situation where you guys are slowly just gaining like more troops over time.
I really like the way you frame it of the play passively versus this idea of oh, that's unfortunate. I really like the idea the way you framed it of like trying to attack someone so that it's not in their benefit to be with someone else.
It works with high level play. Like obviously you play on the ladder. I would not recommend doing that because if you do it with someone like even like master or below, they'll just get angry at you and then just kill you.
Yes. Yeah, I've never heard it framed that way before because you're right. The approach I was taking was attacking both Pete and Asylum because that's what I'm used to.
If you play on the Discord more and you play with like some like the top people. By the way, Asylum is having horrible rolls right now, but you learn about like that element like of the game. Like I'm bad like on the ladder. I would never want like to grind on classic fixed again to get to grandmaster. And I get like the elements of like fix. It's just like the finer nuances and like in the waiting game, which I can do. But I feel like it was nice I got eliminated first because I can just like act like a commentator.
Yeah.
To what's going on.
I do feel like this setup is not good for me because Pete's got pretty firm hold on Australia. And then Yellow's got Asylum's got all these territories bonus. I'm still getting the short end of the stick either way.
No, because right now you and Asylum are just attacking each other. If you keep attacking Asylum, eventually he's going to have to attack Pete.
That was my goal, but do I have to just go like take like 10 of his territories, or do I just go one at a time? Well, then that's I think that's what you were saying. Is like I have to decide which one I'm gonna do, either go passive or go ham on him.
What I would do is probably offer Asylum more attack paths to always be available to attack Pete if needed, but don't actually attack Pete.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Very
so
sneaky.
basically, if you just like next turn, you attacked Ontario, Greenland, Iceland, Great Britain, like Western Europe, Southern Europe.
Yeah, so you can go around me and then go attack Pete if you wanted to. But right now, his 117 is in the wrong spot to do that.
Yeah. Because right now, they're both just kind of like focused on you.
Mm-hmm.
So the passive route doesn't work. So I'd probably take like the second option. You need to make it so that Asylum has to turn on Pete.
Right.
I don't like it.
That makes a lot of sense.
No, I disagree. I think we should keep things exactly the way they are.
I think it's just a delicate balance right now.
You be the bad guy.
If you guys
Slin.
go at it too hard, Pete, you might break the balance of the game.
You know what's funny is that I didn't think I was going to stream this podcast, but if we go long enough, I might have to.
Oh, you have to start your stream soon?
I start at 9 p.m. Pacific.
Oh, cool. I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah, so right now it's like 8, so it should be ending soon.
We hope. It really does seem like this game is being driven by Asylum, though.
Yes. He's the decision maker.
Yeah, I was right
here.
there. Right, Slin?
You were correct.
When people are playing
that's a new thing I
optimally...
learned today. Yeah, that's something I didn't know that before.
What?
Well, before, like, if I'm in third place, what I would do is attack first and second so that none of them would turn on me, and eventually they'd realize that I'm just going to keep creating disruption.
Okay.
But what Olive said that's different than what I would normally do is he said just attack one person only until they're forced to change.
That only works, though, if your opponents are competent. I would do that only with like a high master to GM player. Otherwise, people that are playing on emotions will just turn on you and suicide into you. I would not do this on ladder.
Right. Which I think is cool. Like, it's just another tool for the toolbox, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like things that you're like able to learn. One thing that I think you would like to do, Slin, is like on the Risk Forever Discord. Basically, there's a bunch of like super high level fixed classic people. If you're under like trying doing like high level like kind of like gameplay on a consistent basis on that type of game mode, that could be like a great option for you as well. Yeah, your viewers may like that as well. You even try doing a collab with like Champion Ever. Because you guys, you two of you, I think, are the biggest Risk YouTubers right now. No offense, Pete.
No, I mean, numbers are numbers. You can't be offended by math unless you're a child.
what metric are you using to measure that, by the way, Olive? Because I didn't think that was the case.
So if I go to YouTube right now and I were to search for Slin.
You're going off sub count or you're going off viewership?
Yeah, so by sub count, like, you're the biggest out of like anyone that besides
well, cheating,
like
though.
people who just randomly stream a video. So like your views on average get about like 1,500 views, and over time, because you took a break about 3 months ago before getting back into it. Before that, you're doing about like 4,000 views, and sometimes you have subs going into tens of thousands. So that basically like probably like so subscriber count wise, you're the biggest, but that's because you have prior videos and other like popular video games. But I look at like a Risk Forever, so they're at like 14,000. But like when I look at their videos, they get about about 3,000 to 5,000 videos on their recent stuff, and every once in a while they have like a popular video that they did something really cool, and then they get like 10,000. Then if we look at like the third like really big one, in this case, Pete, he has about 1,000 subscribers, and his views get like a couple hundred, and with a popular view he can hit like 1,000. So in that case, you would be like the second biggest. The other ones are just kind of like more like miscellaneous people, kind of do it like for the love of the game. Riskmaster Gabe used to be pretty big, but I think he just kind of like fell off just to focus on like different things. So yeah, you're the second biggest Risk YouTuber right now.
Yeah, I didn't view it the same way. I viewed it as like the people who made the videos that like got the most views.
Yeah, I mean obviously there could be like random YouTubers that do it like on a very like casual basis.
Nah, that doesn't count.
Like,
though. I agree with that.
Yeah,
not count.
People like random Risk streamer or some random like streamer like just like gets a couple 100,000 views, but they only do like once or twice and they don't really like get the game. Or there can be like people who just like do like a casual like board game friendly channel and they get like tens of thousands of views when they occasionally play like Risk. But when you think of like high level strategic gameplay type channels, it's like your video streams, Pete, and Risk Forever, and that makes you number 2 in that community.
And that's a fact.
So I've just always found it very interesting that like your community members are just of a very different like feel than like the other groups like Risk Forevers or like Pete's like YouTubers. You would think there'd be like similar groups, but I feel like you have like your own unique team and group of people like watching you.
Yeah, that's something I've learned about content creation is that like
you have your
we're all
fans.
making music, but that doesn't mean all the musicians have to sound the same and they don't all have the same fans.
Huh.
Yeah.
I am absolutely
that one was very
horrible at
intuitive to me.
creation, but I find that fact very, very interesting. Like you're the expert in that for sure. I mean, you literally work for Twitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there could be a million channels on TV. You know, there's a channel for everybody, kind of thing. It's a lot of people treat it as like a zero-sum game where, you're stealing my viewers when you go live, that kind of thing. But I don't think that's the case. You know, like there's lots of concerts every weekend, kind of thing.
Oh, I found it to be the complete opposite. Right, I've made a concerted effort to work with every single person making Risk content out there if I can and if they're interested, because it really meets that same sort of philosophy that the rising tide raises all ships, and I want to see this community grow. And I found that the cross-pollination and the collaboration with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a very mature way of looking at it. Mm-hmm.
So, guys, now a serious moment. If Asylum traps himself by attacking like India, you guys can do an endgame strategy where two of you hold, one of you holds North and South America, and one of you holds Africa and Europe.
So I was suggesting that to Pete earlier, but then he didn't want to put his units on Ukraine and Italy. He wanted to put it on India and Ural.
No, I'm down. I'll fuck around with this. Enough of this. Enough of this game.
But he has to trap himself first. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How many should I leave there?
See, 60.
Nah, because I don't like it. Asylum has been popping my small stacks every single fucking time he can.
Uh-oh, timer.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't trust it.
No, because Asylum can't do that now because he would just lose.
He can, though.
The game would be
I don't think he cares.
If he split him between two troops,
I don't think
he cares. Right,
I don't think he cares about just losing.
So I have to clear these yellow ones out of the way. So he can't go behind us.
I think his Asylum is smart, so he's giving himself more availability.
Well, I would expect Pete to take, Europe and Africa or something. Oh, you want North America? You want North America and Europe, Pete?
What? What's the matter? You don't like that? How do you feel about that? Good or not? No good?
I feel not great.
No, you don't like it? Oh no, he doesn't. I thought we had a deal.
I mean, we had a deal, but look at this deal. Look at the better end of the deal.
Northern Hemisphere bros, Southern Hemisphere bros. Let's go. Come on. You don't like the deal? Yes.
You need to let
other
Slin
people have
attack
stuff.
Europe. Slin, have North Africa attack Western Europe.
Yeah, sure. Dude, I don't know about this deal, man.
Give them North America, but attack the one territory in Europe, and then Asylum will be like, oh, they're going to kill each other. When in reality, you guys are both getting stronger.
All right, Pete, I'll give you a chance to redraw those lines, okay? You can try again here.
All right. What is Asylum says, like, what I did there, open him up so you can just kill me off. This is the position I like, letting the tension build between players. We gotta kill this guy, man. We gotta get rid of Asylum. He's too dangerous to be left alive. All right, here's what I say we do, Slin.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to throw 50 troops at him. If you throw 50 troops at him.
Oof.
Yes?
Does that really end the game, though? Because all it does is just shrink the... Oh, yeah, I see. He dies.
He dies.
Oh, I see.
Yes?
How about you guys just
all right.
each slow roll him, right? And just like basically take 10 troops up, slow roll him, and then the other person doesn't do it. They're not being serious. You guys each do it.
I got another idea. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit in China. You sit in India. Deal?
Okay.
Then he can't fucking go anywhere. Right? Right? Yes?
Yeah.
Hey, that'll end this game.
All right.
For Asylum. This is always the thing. When we're gonna
Oh, plot twist. He's asking us.
He's being smart right here. So really, what needs to be like the case now is like one of you guys just needs to attack. So P just made slide like 20 troops in.
Yeah, I'll
use the
slider. How many troops are you willing to commit to this, Slin?
Well, I'm not going to commit the same number as you because you've got more territories than me. You know what
20,
I mean? So I'm going to do a few less than you.
20. Got it. Beep. All right.
Yep, and then just move out.
And you agree that you're getting 4 more units per turn than me, so I'm going to do 16.
You scumbag. Doesn't trust me, huh?
Well, you know, I mean, it's just even. You know, we're going Dutch here.
Got it.
He wanted a card out of it. Oh, that was actually not bad. Are we gonna let this guy get cards though?
No. It's the least we can do.
$22. Okay. I did that. Yeah.
I'm happy we were finally able to negotiate to something.
We were able to strike a deal here.
You know?
So who does Asylum like more?
I don't think either of us at this point.
Asylum the Crazy. They don't call him Asylum the Crazy for nothing.
He says, I get to sit back and die, but not fully, just enough to see who gives the game to the other first. Right.
Ooh.
Right.
Right. That's true.
I mean, what's 4 cards worth to you, right?
4 cards or 4 units?
He's got 4 cards.
Oh, 4 cards.
Are you gonna make the kill?
Oh, that's interesting.
This is a very delicate part, P.
I know, it is a very delicate part. This determines the victory. Oh, good game, Asylum.
Yeah, because right now Slin doesn't have a set. However, yeah, Slin, I think you should go for it.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah, because you also get a set.
Oh, I use a slider. Fudge.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. It's basically that. Just leave like 8.
Let's see if I did enough units here.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The 1v1, Mr.
There you
Slin.
go. Then you get a set, and then,
holding
then
5
you get like,
cards.
the hit on his army.
Blitz my stack. What is going to be left after the blitz? Probably not too much, but you never know. Oh, baby! 12 troops!
Okay, but now you gotta break North America.
Of course.
All right.
12 troops. 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 12
I think, yeah, man.
I'll just attack 2 more.
I think
He
you
already has
got
access
me.
to everything anyway.
I think you got me, Slin.
We're
Wow,
checking the
look at that.
We're running the numbers here. We're running the numbers.
I think you got me.
Oh, you do have some units over there.
Yeah, that's what I would have put it in Siam too.
Also, Pete has like a 1-card advantage, so he's gonna have a good chance of having a good set
Oh,
there.
10! Oh man, it is close. Oh, you're not gonna finish South America.
No, I wanted to be 100% to break and take. Yeah, so if you don't have a match on 3, you can't get in on Oz, right? That's my in the 1v1. If I can hold Oz even for a turn, that might help.
Oh dang! I think you got this one, Pete. Dang.
But it was close, right? Oh, sick! Amazing! You got me good, dude. That was good. Fuck! Oh no! Lucky.
Oh, I didn't take though, but it shouldn't be okay. Okay, hold on. I think Olive told me something to do here. Let's see. Let's click this one.
Does it work though?
Oh, it did though.
It's 42%. It's higher, but you're still like below 50-50.
Okay, let's see if I actually didn't take Pete's advice here with the break and take. I took extra territory.
Yeah, so if Pete gets like a 10-card, so you do have a big advantage here. The fact that you don't have Australia, though, that's like kind of big. Pete has connected his territories, though.
Come on, luck. No. All right, Slin.
So think what happened before when someone's like, "Oh, I'll just do a couple less troops than you." Well, since someone was going after you, and then he was getting those extra troops, he basically was giving himself like an extra like troop lead. So he basically just used his trademark tactic of like emotional manipulation to get the victory here. It's something that I can never do.
He tricked me. I'm a sucker. I fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
I know. It's a trademark Slin tactic.
What a fool. Mistakes were made.
So let's see have a set here, Pete.
I have a +4. Oh, I had a joker. I had a joker, but I had 2 dudes. Oh no.
It's fine because you had to use it right now. Otherwise, it would be over.
It is over.
Yeah, not having Australia here does
hurt. Are you
hurt.
just doing a 1 dice slow roll?
No. Oh, I got an achievement out of that. Thanks, Pete.
Oh, like a defense achievement?
Yeah, it says shields up.
Good game, bro. That was great.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah. If you survive an attack 15 times in a row, you get the that's like one of the rarest achievements. Only like 1% of people get that.
Whoa, Pete, feeding me.
Hey.
Yeah, 4-on-1's guaranteed. By the way, you don't need to do 5-on-1 anymore.
Oh, really?
They changed the blitz odds. Well,
yeah, that's because 4-on-1's 92% are true random, so under balanced blitz becomes 100%.
We'll link you the table.
Under the old balanced blitz system, they only like they made it so you had a good roll more often, but every once in a while you just get like a really bad roll. Therefore, you need like a 5-on-1 in order to win. So they kind of reduced the variance by just making it 15% each way. So that's why 4-on-1 is always the guaranteed now. And 3-on-1's a lot higher now. It used to be 70% under the old balance splits. Now it's 89%.
I need this table, yeah.
All right, I'll hook you up. Slin, that was great, man. Thank you so much.
That's great. Pete and Olive, that was fun.
Thanks for doing it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm glad we could teach you a couple of stuff. I learned a lot of stuff listening to you, so I'm glad as like one of your subscribers, I can teach you a thing or two.
I love it all. Thanks for subscribing.
Yeah, thanks, Olive. I appreciate the assist here, man. The co-hosting was really welcome, and you did a great job.
Of course, I'm glad that I can speak with like the third and second biggest like risk YouTubers and like and be involved with you guys.
Maybe
really
one day we'll get Champ in on a call. You know, when they're not too busy.
Oh,
he is very, very quiet. Yeah. We never even hear his voice. Unless you have like a lot of pre-planned questions and he answers all of them in the same robot voice, like that would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. All right, Slin, is there anything you'd like to promote before we sign off?
Yeah, Pete's channel. Check him out. Kill Pete Strategy. All of you have a channel?
No, I just have a dream.
All right, all the stream.
I do that myself. I'll link to Slin's Twitch and YouTube in the show notes as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found some of it fun and informative, and hopefully both. If you're interested in getting better at the game of Risk, subscribe to my show, subscribe to Slin's show. Also, the free-for-all tournament sign-ups are coming August 6th, which is Friday this week? Friday, August 6th, very soon. I'm excited for this season. I know you are too. So if you're interested in figuring out where you stack up, come on down to the Discord. We'd love to play with you. And until next time, for all of you on the path to world domination, good games and good luck. See you later, guys. Thanks a lot.